Chair recognizes the gentleman from Florida, Mr. Posey, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. With China controlling more and more of the global supply chain of critical minerals and materials, does the Department of Energy consider this a serious threat to the national security of our nation? Dr. Chung.
Thank you for that question. There are critical resources, including critical minerals, critical materials.
I can't hear you.
I'm sorry. Should I stop?
No, that's good.
I think I understand your question. It's about resources that China is controlling. If it's not the right question, I stand corrected.
Yeah. All right, let's try this. What is the Department of Energy's Office of Science and Policy and their commitment to establish a domestic supply of minerals that come from China that are rare?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for that question. Indeed, we're taking these resources, the availability of these resources very critically, very importantly, and we recognize that these critical minerals and materials are essential for a number of the U.S. application, industry, commercial, and that's really impacting not only our national security.
What are we doing about it?
What we're doing about it. We're doing it, we're actually having a whole of the government approach, not only within the department, we're coordinating across the different programs in the Department of Energy, but also with our sister agencies, NSF, NASA, and Department of Defense, to name a few. I think speaking from my own office perspective, it is very, very important that we take a dual approach. One is to be able to find substitute alternatives to these critical materials and minerals. So we're no longer at the mercy of China controlling.
I get that. Give me an example of one that we've done, like where we've sought another alternative.
Okay.
Like we had a witness last week said 90% of our graphite comes from China. So
Correct.
What are we doing about that?
So we may want to develop other graphite sources, not from China, but also in addition to graphite, for example, neodymium is one of the critical materials. There are super exciting properties that neodymium possess that we may find alternatives to having neodymium, for example, in high field magnets. So that's exactly trying to understand what makes these critical minerals, critical materials so special that impact our clean energy application, our other application, and then find substitutes.
How much money have we spent searching for alternatives so far?
I'm sorry?
How much money have we spent searching for alternatives in the last 10 years?
Right. So within, there are several pieces in the Department of Energy. In Office of Science, we're spending about $20 million per year for the past 10 years or so. But there are a dedicated program called Critical Materials Institute being supported by the Energy Efficiency and Renewable Energy. That program has been going on for 10 years. So each year is funded at $25 million. So over a 10-year span is $250 million. That is not a program supported in my office. If you're interested, we can get you additional information from my colleagues.
I would appreciate that. How many commercial minerals and materials production facilities have resulted from these expenditures?
Yes, that's exactly the question that my colleagues in the energy efficiency and renewable energy will be able to answer. I'll be happy to get back with you on the details of that.
How can the Department of Energy ensure that its research funds are used in a way that promotes American companies?
Indeed. We are keenly aware that, and the department also is protecting the benefits of America's investment in R&D, making sure that we fend off on unneeded, unintended sharing of information, especially recognizing there are countries that are not really adhering to the same code of conduct, such as in terms of respecting our IP right, respecting the IP right, and also intellectual property right, as well as protecting research.
Time's almost over. If we have a foreign company competing with an American company, would we ever fund a foreign company?
So the secretary
yes
actually
or no
starting.
would really be helpful because we're almost out of time.
Okay, so the department had put in a very rigorous vetting, risk-based vetting process to make sure that the American derive from the maximum benefit from the American investment in R&D. It's case by case. My understanding is that, and if you, we'll be happy to get back with you with additional information on if you have specific case you would like us to address.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My time's up.